1, 2, 3, taking up space!
Yeah, that did work. All right, people at home, if you're living here on Earth and under a rock here on Earth, I will tell you that Gayle King went to space yesterday. She came back safely aboard a Blue Origin capsule along with 5 other incredible women. And by the way, this was a historic trip. First all-female commercial space mission ever. So here to talk all about it is astronaut Gayle King and one of her astronaut crewmates, former NASA rocket scientist, aerospace engineer, and entrepreneur Aisha Bowe.
Can I really add astronaut to my resume? Because I look at Mae Jemison and those guys, I don't know. She has a shirt that has all of the black women who have been, and just to see my name in that company is like, whoa.
It is amazing.
Whoa.
It is amazing. When we were pulling up, we got to work at the same time this morning.
Yes.
Your plane landed a lot different hour. I was way asleep when you got into New York. But it was funny watching you get out of a normal vehicle.
Yes. I still know how to ride one of those, Tony. I still know how to do it.
Aisha, as a rocket scientist, one of the things I've been really curious about is when you're up there and you're floating, there's no wind, right? So the capsule's just sort of hovering for a second?
Yeah, so we were up there, we had a few minutes of microgravity, and what's amazing is you can get around with just the lightest touch. Before the flight, I was talking to Joan Higginbotham and Jeanette Epps, who spent time in the International Space Station, and they were like, remember, easy goes it. And so I got up, I grabbed on the window, I saw Earth, which was beautiful, and I let go, and I almost immediately floated away.
Wow. There was somebody upside down in some of the videos. Do you know that was you?
Well, yeah,
That was her.
Me and Amanda, we were upside down.
I was trying to do everything I could not to be upside
Gayle,
down.
your
I was always
description-
holding on to something, always.
When you talked about trying to get back in the chair,
Yes.
you're like a moose. And I laughed so loud because Vanessa, who was sitting with us, who had been on one of the Blue Origin missions, said it is so difficult and
Yes.
so hard.
Well, because we were so well trained about when you go back to your seat, grab this, then put it on like a backpack, then grab that handle over there, put your feet. But I just was, and then the clock is ticking.
But now you're in
I
this
literally,
euphoria.
I said I got into my seat like a moose. I just sort of tried to get in and click something, whatever that was going to be, whatever it was going to, I just wanted to get back to my seat in time.
The one thing, I said this yesterday, I don't know if you remember, I said, you guys are the first. And the one
Yes.
thing I know in helping cover pioneers, when you're the first, you need others to follow for there to be more. Have you already started hearing from people about the way this has inspired? I think you mentioned like a young girl that was
I
there.
have. Yes.
I had the privilege of sharing this moment with a young girl named Claire. I've mentored her since she was 13, and it was her engineering team that I took a picture in front of the booster with, and they were so proud. And she said to me, Aisha, I never doubted that I could be an aerospace engineer because you were one, and you were there for me. But I have doubted whether or not I made the right career choices, and I knew that it was my job to make sure you came home safe.
No, I mean, just think about her for a second. She was told your dreams are too big, you need to dream small.
Yeah.
Cosmetology school was a recommendation. But when I was little, this was never my dream. But even if it was, I wouldn't have seen anybody that
Right.
looked like me, either by race or by gender.
Yeah.
So the fact that we are the first, what I do know is that we will not be the last.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is very exciting.
Gayle, this is so surreal. People magazine named you an Oprah best friends,
Yeah.
best celebrity friendship. Okay, whatever.
I was hoping we would win that, but
Okay, all right. So then, congratulations. But no, it does speak to the depth of the friendship. Oprah
Yes.
was overcome with emotion. You've probably seen the video as you
I
were
have now,
you were a little
yes.
grain of sand getting higher and higher in the
Yes.
sky. Do you guys ever reflect on being 2 broke girls in your 20s and now look at you?
I think anybody who was watching us, loved ones, had that moment where you go up in the sky and then you disappear.
Right.
And then you hear this big boom once you disappear with it separating. And so imagine what it's like to hear it on the ground, but imagine what we felt when that actually
Gayle,
happened.
imagine the journey of when you guys were young and you first
Yes,
met to where
yes.
you are now. Experience.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it's like I always say God can dream a bigger dream than you can dream for yourself. This was never my dream, certainly not hers. When they first said they were going to do an all-female crew, I said to Oprah, I would do it if you would do it, because I know you're not going down like that. I just know that's not how she's going to exit the Earth. She goes, well, no beeping way am I doing it, so guess you're not going. So when it presented itself, my initial response is no, I can't.
Right.
And then you start thinking about it. You start thinking about what it represents. And I had such trust in Blue Origin. You know more about them than I do in terms of their safety record and how they operate. So you never doubted it. When you were invited, you were like, yes, 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 put me in.
This friendship now, because I'm thinking you're talking about the friendship with Oprah. I've seen you just
we're
talking
forever bonded, yes.
with the six of you now. This bond that formed so quickly.
Yes.
What is that like?
I mean, it's been incredible because we had to pass our final test as a group.
Yes.
Yeah.
So our practice, our simulations,
Yeah.
everything had to be done in a coordinated fashion to ensure safety. And we finished and we stepped out of that last training run. We were ready.
Yes. We were very well prepared. And, you know, they had the option, the countdown. They said, if you're going to back out, what was the phrase you have to say if you're going to
it
back
was a
out?
very
At 2 minutes and 30
Just 2 minutes and
Will
30
not
seconds.
fly, right?
Will not fly.
I will not
Yeah.
fly.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a moment where you thought, never?
No, and in fact,
Never.
when we landed, if they play the audio, I checked in. My call sign is Exuma because my 92-year-old grandfather had the honor of standing next to Oprah, and that's beautiful footage. And we got there, and they were like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Bluecom, Exuma, I'm okay. When do we go back?"
She did say that. And I just said,
Gayle, yes. What'd you
never
say?
mind, never mind. I just said, happy to be home. I did not say ready to go back, not at this particular moment. I want to talk about your grandfather and Oprah because your grandfather's not, did he even know who Oprah was?
Yes.
He did know? Okay.
Yes.
She's pretty famous.
Yeah.
She's
I
kind
know,
of,
but I never
kind of a big
know.
deal.
So many people wondered
what
who
did
your
he
grandfather
say?
was.
Yeah, what did
Yeah.
he say?
So he said, you know, I understand that you were going to space, and I was really excited about it, but I was also comforted by Oprah.
Comforted by Oprah?
I love that.
And he was he was just so excited. I mean, the trajectory that we flew is very similar to Alan Shepard.
That's right.
Yes, I
And
love
in
that.
That's right.
1961, when NASA launched the mission, most people know that it took off from the United States, but what they do not know is it landed in Grand Bahama.
Yeah.
And so I actually flew in my flight bag my Bahamian passport, and it's going to receive the space passport stamp, and it's going to go to my grandfather, who grew up in the time when they didn't have airplanes on his island, but he took an airplane
love
to
that
watch his granddaughter go to space.
And you've got the Bahamas now pride of place in the history of space travel. Gayle
You guys
King.
are.
And I love Oprah and your grandfather hanging out. I
know.
love that.
It is really cool.
People really kept looking. They're like, "Who's the guy next? Who's the guy next to Oprah?" Everybody asked me. I'm like, "I don't know. We got to find out."
Yeah, somebody asked, is that Gail's dad? No. Nope. I thought that was nice, too.
Gayle,
are incredible.
Aisha, I'm so glad you guys had a great time. It was such an amazing trip. Thank you very much for sticking
It
with us
was
today.
an
Appreciate
amazing
it.
trip.
Yes.
Oh, wait. What are you going to do with your spacesuit?
Well, I would like my spacesuit to go to 2 places. One, there's a museum in the Bahamas, and then also here in the United States.
Oh.
So I actually asked for like 2. And the reason for that is
Wow.
I wanted to have a memorial to the progress that we've made in the United States and in the Bahamas.
God, I just
a
wanted to frame
beautiful
mine
thing.
and put it in my house.
You
Maybe
get
I
a
need to
second
think
one.
bigger.
Gayle, there's your flight suit. You got to fly away from here. You got 9 more interviews
yeah,
to do
there's
before you
Kabir
can
from
sleep.
Sesame
Oh, that's so
Street.
sweet.
I
Ahead, the
know.
stories that
Yeah.
caught our eye. Stay with us.